Yo, yo, yo. What it do? What it do? What are the qualities that will define a good woman? And when do you know that you have a good woman or that you found a good woman? How long does it take to know if you found a good woman or not? The question is, how do we find and define a good woman? Let's find out.
So how does a man identify a good woman?
I would say that a man identifies a good woman if she's, one, healthy and fit. That's important.
Okay.
Especially for childbearing. And I'd say number two, if she has traditional values, if she believes in being submissive, if she believes in being feminine, she loves.
Shouldn't a man answer that question?
We're gonna get to the men.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Hold on, pal.
It's just whoever's sitting, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think if she wants to cook, if she's okay cleaning, she's a homemaker, she would love to, have children and take care of them and be a housewife. I think that's beautiful. And so that's what I think identifies a good woman.
Okay. What about you?
Well, identifying as a good woman nowadays is a bit difficult. However, I would emphasize on the values and the morals of the woman. Primarily, her ability to be a good wife, her ability to raise good children, and even her thoughts and the things she has in mind, because she's going to be molding the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how does he know?
Well, it can,
because women lie. Like, we can just say things like I am.
But if you have a deep conversation with a person,
She can still lie.
But no, but to an extent, but believe me, throughout time, you can identify.
Okay, so how much time?
If it's, I would say, I would give it like 3 months, but it can.
Okay, so 3 months
of constant meeting.
Okay, so you think in 3 months he can see if she has traditional values?
Yes,
okay.
she would. I mean, just
so healthy. So he can look. She healthy and fit. Cool.
Yeah.
How can he test if she's submissive?
He can ask something and see the reaction.
So ask her to do something and see what she does.
For example, you can tell. I mean, if a man tells a woman, "Can you please make me a coffee or a meal?" and she say, "Hell no, I'm not doing this to you." I mean, that's
all right. See her for 3 months. Ask her to make him a coffee. Okay. I'm just writing it. I'm writing. What? Okay. What else can he do? How does he? Does he what else? What else does he do?
I mean, well,
so I was here. Just find a good woman. So I'm just trying to get from the women. How do the men just find a good woman?
Yeah, it's his ability to identify what he values in a woman.
Okay.
I mean, that's gonna be subjective to an extent.
Yeah, so I'm asking what makes someone a good woman, and how does he identify that?
I think what you were saying as well, men do test women. I've been tested by men with certain things.
How does he test a woman?
So can you cook for me? Can you make me food? Or on the spot though?
Asked to
and
cook
it really,
on the spot.
But it really happens,
It's a good test.
It really happens, for real. And then he will know do you know how to cook? Can you cook properly? Do you know what I mean?
That properly still.
Even your presentation, how you deliver the food.
Dripping the gravy on the side of the plate.
So I want to get it step by step for where I'm going to let the men talk. I'm just curious how it's going to align with what you guys say from the women and the men. Okay, so first he's got to see her for 3 months, ask her to make him a coffee, and asked to cook.
Oh, I disagree with all of that. I think that, honestly, if it's a high-value man, most of the time he's gonna know without all of that, honestly. Mm-hmm. Most of the men nowadays...
How does he know?
There is this, I don't know if it's the right word, but there is this aura, there is this sense when you sit with a woman who you know is going to be respectful to you or not. Okay. I honestly feel that.
You think that average men just know this? Because you're talking about high value. That's like
that's
like 5% of men.
I know, but average men nowadays look at high value men's content more and more and more, and try to see.
So you think? Okay, and I think you think. I'm just curious. You think men just know?
They don't just know, but they should get to a point to just know. So they have to.
So how does he get to that point that he just knows?
Well, slowly, we're getting to a point where I think they need to go to certain parts of the world to know. And certain parts of the world, they will just know that 90% of the women will not be like that. And
okay, so he needs to travel to.
Slowly, we're getting there.
He needs to travel somewhere else and then experience those women and then compare them to.
Exactly.
Okay, but for a guy that doesn't.
Man, we can't. This can't be serious. She still didn't say how a man could tell if that's a good woman or not. A man is just supposed to know. Come on now, Does that sound mature to you? If you could answer this question, that means you could pretty much appear to be a quality woman, and it'll be a lot easier for a man to differentiate you between you and the next woman. And I think a lot of women are missing this, right? Like, that's crazy. She don't even know. Yeah, she's telling people it should be easy to know.
Most guys don't make a ton of money. Like, I think half of U.S. men don't have passports.
Yeah.
So most men aren't traveling like that. So for a guy that's not traveling, how does he know a good woman versus bad woman?
I would say if the first conversation with her is like, oh, so where are we going to dinner? Are we having drinks? This is not a right way to meet. I think when you meet a girl, you should take her for coffee, and that's it. Even if you like her so much that you
take on a coffee date
and see what she's like and see if she's...
I mean, I agree with that. It doesn't have to be coffee, but something that's straight to the point, allows you guys to have a conversation. I'm a big firm believer of speaking on the phone, FaceTiming, getting some kind of chemistry and getting that small talk out of the way. And so when you do meet, you kind of understand and got a little bit of a sense of each other's personality. And so you can kind of hit the ground running. Yeah, something that allows you guys to speak and talk, even if it's a short time, an hour, maybe plan a date from that point on, or look to plan and get into something else a little bit more serious after that first initial date. Quick coffee, quick lunch, so that you can find out more about each other and see if you guys are compatible. And it really shouldn't take you guys to spend a lot of money for that.
Can a man know a good woman from a bad woman without experiencing a lot of women?
No. Not really.
Okay,
not really.
So in order to identify, he has to what?
I would suggest that in his 20s he dates as many women as he can.
That's what. Okay. Oh, so how many women should he date?
As much as you can.
Yeah, as much as you can. Yeah. I'm not saying sleep with all of them, but
giving numbers. Date as many women as possible to tell the difference. Because again, remember, I just want to remind everybody of the stats. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 38% of women or of kids are born into single parent homes, meaning 38% of the next generation has never seen a functioning marriage. Average first child is before the average age of first marriage, so the first kid 26, first marriage 30. Half of marriages will end in divorce. Average number of partners for a woman is between 4 and 8, and that's self-reported, so take that with a grain of salt. But women have a 20% chance of being in a happy marriage if they have slept with more than 5 people. So, yeah. And if men get divorced, they can be financially ruined, and their kids can be taken from them. 70% of women are overweight. So basically, there's a lot riding on them picking the right woman. So I'm trying to give them a foolproof plan.
She be smacking them with them stats, don't she? That's one of the biggest decisions you can make, is who you're going to be with. I mean, I definitely feel like you should date a good amount of time. I'm not sure if quantity is the answer. That's basically what people are saying, that you should just date as many times as you can. Now you can start to understand what type of woman you're going to need to be with. I think a lot of it is just as much as knowing yourself as knowing other people. You got to know who you are, right? And your mindset and what's important to you could change drastically. And so just knowing who you are, what's important to you, your principles, where you're headed, your direction, the type of personality that gels with you is key. Is there a number you need to date for that? I'm not sure. I think really your first girl or your second girl or the third girl that you meet could fit that criteria that you're looking for. For example, like, I think you could date however many that it takes for you to get to the criteria that you're looking for. And I think the key there is to identify if they don't fit that. And it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. They're not bad people. It just doesn't gel with you. Certain different values don't mesh. To me, it's just knowing who you are And then looking out in the market and say, okay, do these people fit? Do these women fit what I'm looking for and what I need? And then, allowing yourself to be open-minded. You're looking at the pros and the cons and weighing them. And maybe this person has more pros than cons, and the cons you could live with. So I think it has every bit to do with you. Knowing yourself allows you to have a more accurate criteria so that you know what you're looking for. And then you can identify it in the marketplace a lot easier. Like, for example, okay, you know that you are a sports player. You know that you travel a lot. You know that you're going to need a certain type of woman to hold down the household. You're going to need a certain type of woman that doesn't care that you travel, but she's left back at home. It takes a certain type of woman, right? That's secure in her thoughts, plays her position, all those type of things that you can run down that would enable her to not only be okay with that type of lifestyle, but embrace it and thrive even in that lifestyle. And there's certain women that do. They love the alone time at the same time, and they self-manage, and they can be self-motivated to play their part. Once you guys work out a game plan, they're there and they're responsible for it and can be held accountable to it. But some women left alone and they can't manage what's going on, and you have to constantly micromanage them, and perhaps they get jealous. Or so again, if you're a person that knows, okay, this is the type of person I am, this is the type of lifestyle, then that allows you to know, okay, well, here's what I'm looking for. It kind of helps you narrow it down. I mean, come on, we're trying to look for something, especially in this day and age where there's so many people and you don't really know who's even single or who's looking and who's available, to even get in a relationship. So a lot of these things you have to communicate, and you have to actually say, hey, this is who I am and what I'm looking for. A lot of that is logic based. A lot of that is, communication. It's not just, oh, okay, after 3 months, I'm going to know. It's really like, okay, you know what? Let's get this out on the table. Because when people say, okay, I'm going to date, I mean, you only got a certain amount of time to live, right? And then you want to be on a fast track to building a family, whether you want to have kids or not. You want to get together and start building what you're looking to do so that it's in action, it's going, it's pushing forward. And women have discussed this for years, right? What men should do. But with women, and especially a rapidly changing world where women are starting to earn a lot more, women are trying to figure out, well, what is the role? What is the role that they want to play? But then also, what's the role that guys see a value in? Guys are communicating that. Guys are saying, hey, this is what we want. We want to fit, feminine, submissive, so on and so forth. A woman that's cooperative. We ask the question, well, how do you know? Right? So then, yeah, I think the woman earlier hit on that a little bit better, where she was saying that, you ask the woman questions. I think that's the key, right? If you ask a woman a question and she just can't answer it, she don't want to answer it, you ask her to do something, she doesn't want to, not only does she not want to do it, but she gives you attitude with it, then you can kind of know, especially if it's not something that's crazy, you kind of know, okay, yeah, she's not someone that you can work with. You can't reason with her. And, especially if she's one that she could rattle off what she would need from you, but then you ask her what you would need from her, and then she's not receptive, then yeah, that kind of gives you a clue as to maybe that's not somebody that you would want. And so yeah, the more questions, the better. I think that's key, right? Again, knowing yourself, but then once you know that, ask particular questions that would, expose, okay, who this person is. They don't take it seriously. They don't take your concerns seriously. Okay, yeah, you probably know that it's probably going to be like that for the long haul, right? She's going to downplay your concerns, downplay anything that you say that should be important. She's going to elevate whatever she thinks is important, even if it's not important. But if she thinks or feels it's important, she's going to elevate that and put that above what you think, or above what the bigger picture is. And that's a red flag for, I think, a lot of men. Put all your hard work into it only for someone to undermine it and to go against the grain. I think a lot of men aren't seeing that as a win. They're not seeing that as something that they would want to invest in.
But majority of women are going for men that's not monogamous, then why they fight for a man to be monogamous?
I mean, I think they want him to be, but
So they want to change the man, basically. They see a man,
They
obviously,
wanna
because they're going
say,
for the top,
I'm-
they're
I'm
going for
the-
the top 20% or whatever, which they know is, they can tell that he gets a lot of girls or whatever.
yeah.
So they want to try and lock down that one man so he don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's like every girl's,
dream.
has a, what Cinderella was sitting at home and the prince like came and picked her out of all the princesses.
Exactly. They want to say, I
They've
was
been-
the one who changed him.
They've been selling us this dream forever.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
ego, baby.
So what do you think of that? Does that change your perspective a little bit?
Not really, kinda, not really.
No. Okay.
Well, can I
Why?
just-
What does it not change?
I just still think that men are looking for things they don't have themselves. They don't have the minerals for the things that they want in the women, so they just pick women based off looks. They don't know what they want anyway. Like they think they know what they want, but they haven't even got the minerals anyway.
Is it possible that women don't have what they want?
Absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
how would they pick it if the dating pool has like 1 out of every 3 women's had an abortion, 1 out of every 3 women has an STD, 40% grew up without a dad, so they don't have that model. Like how would they?
How would they know?
Yeah.
Who a good woman is?
Yeah, like they've never what percent of men have like even seen a true traditional woman?
I don't think. Yeah.
Do you know any women with like recipe books?
only the high, only celebrities.
Hey, nice too.
But only like the upper class, high celebrity profile people.
Yeah, and these two now.
They be hating on them recipe books, boy. I tell you. What's wrong with the recipe book? If you say, look, I need you to do this, a lot of times they just don't want to give it to you. But let it be a pet. Let it be a pet or something like that. Pet don't do nothing for you. I keep bringing up this pet because I see it, man. I see a lot of single women with pets. And they'll run around cleaning up after a pet, doing everything for a pet. Pet can't do nothing for them. But, hey, it's all ego. But a man asking them for it, they ain't trying to give you that. They ain't trying to give you nothing what you asking for. I ask you again, why be in a relationship if you don't want to give a man what he want? You know what I mean? I've yet to hear that answer. If a woman is not willing to get a recipe book, that just shows that she's not really willing to get better. Like, if a woman says she cooks, you would assume she has cooked, but is it good? And that's really up to you to really judge, right? Because she gonna be cooking for you. Now, even if it is good, and let's say you got 4 or 5 different good dishes that work really well, people will enjoy. Well, it doesn't hurt to have a cookbook that you can learn more dishes for. So that 5 can turn into 10, and that 10 can turn into 20. And now you could be on grandma's level, right? Where she got several different ways to cook, certain different things she picked up through the years to become good at what she does. That's all it is, right? It's trying to get better and trying to be your best self, not just saying, you know what, I'm gonna give what I give and that's it. And I think a lot of women, they want a man to be his best self, because again, if he's earning and he's securing the house and he's doing all the things that a man should be able to do, build things, fix things. If he can't fix it, manage things well to be fixed. You have to have knowledge. You have to constantly be able to pick up and gain skills along the way. You don't just come ready-made with that. You know, how to fix a car, how to fix things around the house. Those are skills you got to learn and acquire. And if you're doing that, but your mate is not, what does that say about you? It's subjective knowing what's a good woman or not. You know, and for women, what's a good man really, right? Certain things are universal, but certain things are dependent on, each person and what they value. And a lot of that is saying, okay, well, what type of woman do I want? Do I want someone who's quiet? Do I want someone who's a little bit more outgoing? Do I want someone who is career driven? Do I want someone who's more work at home? All those details as far as what we want would help shape what we're looking for. Guys that are going out here that's just going off of looks and saying, okay, this girl right here, damn, she's bad. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at certain different things as far as mindset and their mental fortitude and their emotional fortitude and how they deal with conflict and how they work through issues. Those are the guys that they end up very disappointed women got to do a better job of communicating what they do well and the reasons why a guy would settle down with them. Because again, a lot of times relationships benefit the woman more than the guy, especially monogamous relationships. So I think a lot of women just got to get a lot better too. If they want to be in these relationships, they got to get a lot better at showing what they're good at and why a guy should choose them over other women. But yeah, fellas, just understanding what we want. Not just think with our second brain. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think. Be sure to like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, be easy. We out.